Hello, everybody. Hopping on a few minutes early because I actually got everything set up in time, believe it or not. Let's see here. Make everything smaller. I need to find my reference photo. There we go. And make sure you guys are all visible here. Okay, that should be better. Probably go a little smaller. There, okay. So maybe face you guys this way just a tad so you can see a little bit more of the painting. Does that work? That works. Cool. All right. I'm going to be putting in the comments a question for you guys. You can kind of answer as we go along. So let me put that in there. What are your goals, projects, slash ideas for the fall? Creative ideas for the fall. What are your goals, projects, creative ideas for the fall? Boom. So if you think of something or if you've had something already that you've been thinking of doing, you can stick it in the comment section. I'd love to see those and read those as we go. But we're going to be continuing this painting today. So the plan is for me to kind of work with the light next. That's kind of what I decided last time. And then from there, kind of move on to some of the, you can see some of the green on the trees a little bit more definition to some of this stuff. But once we have established the darks, which we did last week, I want to establish the lights, and then I can do kind of the in-betweens and mesh them so they look realistic. So let's dive in. I'm going to get out my paints here. We're going to need white, probably a lot of it. So I'm going to give a good chunk of white. And then yellow. I'm probably gonna put both of my yellows out. This is a it's called cadmium yellow medium hue, but it's really more of my primary yellow. So my primary yellow, and oh no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. It looked like my primary yellow next to this other brand of that same color. This is my primary yellow. It actually says primary yellow. This is not. So you can kind of see the difference. Maybe a little bit yellower, a little bit oranger. And so we want both of these just so we have them. Then we're going to pull out the blue-green. Oh, let's see. So a phthalo blue and an ultramarine blue. I don't know if you can kind of see the difference in color. It's a little hard on camera. This is a little bit more purple blue. This is more like green blue. So those are the differences there, in case you care. And maybe you don't, that's okay. This blue-green makes great turquoises and greens. And then this one makes good sky colors. Oh. Oh, wow, I missed my leg. Amazing. It's like I've been doing this for a while or something. No. Okay, it's always handy to have all your 3 primaries out, which I'm doing my 2 different yellows, my 2 different blues, and I'll put down this, I kind of like this vermilion red, which is, I think, what I used for this base color with white and a little bit of yellow, you know, something different. More of a peach, but that down can make some good neutrals. Okay, I think we're probably set. So I want to start by probably focusing on where the light is coming from, because honestly, I feel like I don't know what I'm going to be doing correctly unless I get that light in there. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to jump right into the good stuff, which in my painting here is, where is that happening? It's happening here. So the brightest section is right here. So yeah, so that makes it easier because it's on one canvas. I can focus on the one. I feel like I need to make this a little lower. There we go. Just so I can kind of visualize that. Okay. So there's a lot of yellows, obviously. But there's also this sort of dark color. And so we're still working kind of dark to light, even though I'm jumping out to the lights. I know that doesn't make any sense, but it will make sense. So there's some trees off in the distance that are they're way lighter than these trees. Like we're talking value is drastically different. But I need to put those in. And so to put those in, I need to make the right color, which is still going to be quite light. I'm going to have to try it because I just have no clue, you know, how close this is going to be. It's actually a very difficult color to make. Actually, I'm going to go crazy and I'm going to actually, I'm changing my mind. Sorry. I was thinking, because I want to make sure I leave some of the orange showing. I was going to work in layers, but that means that I'm going to be not showing off the orange background. And I definitely don't want that to be the case. I'm going to just up. Okay. So I am going to be a little bit more meticulous here, and I'm going to, there's a tree right here, and this is like in the light, like it's backlit. And so we're really just seeing this. There's kind of an orange base to it. We're seeing another little tree thing over here. And we're seeing another one that's maybe a little bit darker right here. It turns orange. See another one back in here. And then we're seeing some sort of tree texture. Here's a little bit of a branch, a little bit of tree texture. Again, I want to stick with the painterly style, not going crazy, even though I am crazy. Just putting it actually looks kind of green. I don't know if you can tell that. It looks kind of green on the canvas, but it's basically a brown tan color. And that's an interesting thing. It's called color interaction. When, you know, a color can look really, really different depending on what color it's next to or how you perceive it. And honestly, the color it's next to will affect the way you perceive it. It's actually the whole, you know, the black and blue dress thing that was famous for a while. The whole, you know, some people see black and blue and some people see gold and white. white and gold. And it's really just your brain is choosing to decide which view it's seeing it in. Is it seeing it in the dress in a shadowy light or in a like really bright light? How is it seeing it? And that's how you're going to perceive it. Okay, I got to stop talking. Okay, so I don't really know exactly where some of this is going, but I just want to put down a little bit here and there to kind of hint at some of that. Then, and I'm going to probably come back to that color, but I feel like I need a better idea of my process here. So the next thing is, let's go with this yellow, going with the warmer yellow. Red or vermilion. Let's just try it. So this is gonna come in here. Ooh. And it's going to define kind of some of the edges of the leaves and things along the way. It's gonna kind of go into some of this. It's going to define the sides of this tree in here, and some of it like is orangey looking. And again, I'm still, and even though it is kind of the focus of the painting, this highlighted section, and so I do want to make sure that I'm not like skimping too much. I want to pay attention to the detail, but I'm also, painting it very painterly at the same time. So it's a hard balance. Okay, I'm gonna switch between those two colors there. Because there's so much depth back in there. Oh, geez. I'm trying to like keep a little section. Keeping a little bit of orange back in there. And right now this isn't very bright, but that's the whole idea, is we're going to work up. It needs to have white in there. There's just like little sparkles of that color up in here. Kind of along the tree edges all the way up. Just a little bit in here, but mostly green. Okay. Yeah. It's probably good. Okay. Cool. I think while I have that color before I devote to doing like the white stuff, I wanna get some of these other spots in here. So you can see, hopefully, kind of from a distance now, what this is looking like. So it's probably a good choice because there's going to be lots of like green, but I don't want the green. I don't want the yellow over the green. I'd rather have it over the orange background because then it's going to be warmer than if it's the other way around. I better zoom out. Okay. But see, as it's drying, it looks darker. You probably can't tell, but I can tell from this close that this yellow is getting more transparent and you can kind of see through it, which is kind of irritating because I want it to be its own color, different from the background. So we'll see if that gets worse or if that... Then there's quite a bit in here. Oops, a little bit too... There we go. There we go, a little bit warmer. Okay, now I gotta figure out where this yellow is coming. And there are some more trees back in here, but I'm just gonna ignore that for now, and I'll put those over this. Just helps to kind of blob it in there. This tree, it's a little bit more orangey. And so this tree, yeah, so on this side of this one, we're going to put a little bit. Ooh, you see how that one didn't even show up very well? Because I tried to go more orange, but I've got orange underneath. Okay. The color is getting a little more yellowy as it comes up this way. So above the tree line in here, we're getting some yellow. Now, some of that will be covered up later. Then it kind of turns green. A little bit up in here, it's not going to be as important. Okay, so you can kind of get the vibe. Then we're going to go for white. White, is that what I want? That's what I want. white and yellow together. Let's see if this is. And this is where it's going to really pop. Right here. The sun is just streaming through, glowing through these little spots in here. Revealing those trunks a little bit more. Ooh. Is there any little sparkles anywhere else? There might be a little bit up in here, but it's mostly like right there. And like this is maybe should be more overtaken by that color. And then like this. Just get a little bit of a bigger section of a lighter yellow orange happening. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Okay. So you can kind of see a little bit of the light showing. There's kind of, I don't even know what's happening, but I need to decide if that gets added or not. It's kind of a greenery thing, but let's put hints of light reflecting there. There's kind of something catching the light here. Kind of gets into the dark a little bit. There's maybe a little bit here that kind of captures the light. You know, you just want to, wherever you see the little things, kind of put them in. This is where it's also huge. It's clearly on some of these trees in here and some of this, I don't know if they're sticks or grasses or something down in here. And then they kind of come into this path a little bit. And then a little bit on the path, but it's mostly kind of orangey. Like our underpainting is really gonna come into play in here. Okay, so I think I'm happy with where the lights are at the moment. And we're going to, I say lights, it's the light, the sun. I'm happy with where the sun is. And I want to go to the next layer, which I think is green. So this is a lot. It's in a lot of different places. Then once we do the green, we're going to do the blue. The sky, guys, that's my favorite part. It really, you get to really see the trees come to life because a lot of this red stuff, you know, is going to be some of those pieces. So I'm going to mix a green, but it's going to be a little bit more on the muted side, a little bit on the lighter side. Color-wise, it's a little tricky because there's parts that look like this blue or this green I just made looks almost perfect for stuff in here. So since I have it, let's use it. Kind of assessing where the green where that kind of green goes without getting rid of my darks. I want to put this in. And I can do some, I think I can do some, this might be a little weird. There are some like trunks done in that color off in the distance. Or at least they appear to be that color, but they can kind of blend in when I add some of that. Looks a little, maybe too green. I gotta add a little red. There we go, that might be better. It's looking a little too blue-green. And this color, it really hugs up against here, all the way up the top, hugging against the darks, overlapping maybe just the smallest little edge of darks. And some of this will just pop more with the sky being put in later. Or just putting a little bit of this. Definitely seeing it kind of up in here. Definitely. A little bit in here. There's actually a lot of sky in this little section, but I want to put the green where I want to put the green because the sky can go in and around it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I put a question in the comments if you're interested in answering. I'd love to read what you put down. Obviously, only put stuff in the comments that you want people to see because it is public, so just so you know. There's honestly quite a bit of, I'm going to zoom in on this part of the picture. There's a lot of branches back in here. Oops, a little bit of water. These lights really dry out my paint. Okay, there's parts where this gets a little bit more green, yellowy green. And that's kind of up in here. Just kind of little sections of that being the case. Oh, by the way, I was in Santa Fe over the weekend. Super fun. Definitely got some inspiration, got some good photos. I'm kind of on a tree kick here with a foresty type kick. And so that was, I took some good pictures of trees while I was there, which was really fun. Some really dramatic lighting. So stay tuned for some inspiration like that. Okay, I'm going to take that color back over to here because this is where it's a little bit more that color. And the trees. it's very difficult. It's very full of colors and value and such things. So we're gonna come in here, put this down, and I still want it to be very painterly, so I'm kind of simplifying as I go because I don't want it to be, I'm not really liking that color. Need more of my neutral red vermilion color coming through, mixed with my greens and my yellows to make them not just like, grass green and sun yellow and all these things. It needs to be more neutral. So I mix that with my green. Yes, that's what we want. Okay. There's quite a bit of this, and this is going to really reveal. I feel lost as to where I'm at in this picture. I probably need to back up. Ooh, okay. There's kind of a really blue-green. I don't even know what's happening exactly, but like this is like really blue-green in here for some reason. But it really adds a lot of interest. It's there, so putting it in. And then we're going to go more yellow green again. And actually, there's sections that are almost brown, kind of like that color you was using before. Let's go in with that and put in some of these trunks. There's a trunk coming through here. And then there's some more off in the distance that are more like this color. Kinda not. Okay. It's coming. It's definitely tricky, like, to get the appearance of that color. Those colors are really tricky. Very neutral. Yeah, like, is this the, yes. Oh, a little bit more brown, maybe. Oh, oops. Went a little green with that one. More brown. Let's try, I don't know. Is this close enough? Sure, it'll work for now. Things are far enough away. I don't need to worry too much about some of these things. Okay, let's go back to our sort of yellow-green color, because that shows up a lot more like in here. I'm clearly jumping between colors here. It's really dark up in there, so there's not a lot of greenery. There's maybe hints of green in here. We're getting kind of more of a backlight. That's not too crazy. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I have a fun question in the comments if you're interested in taking a peek at that and leaving a comment for me. And the reason I ask, what your goals are, projects are, creative ideas are for the fall is because I was I don't know if you saw if you follow me follow FGI on Instagram. It's what yesterday was the first day of fall. And so obviously everyone's like, fall, yay, excited for a change, which I totally agree with. But I also feel a little bit like kind of hesitant to get excited about it because I don't know what is this fall going to look like? With the pandemic, with politics, with whatever the case may be, random stuff. It's like there's probably going to be more things that happen that we're going to be like, yep, 2020. But it's just hard to know, should we be that excited about it? Are we going to be cooped up inside longer again when the pandemic gets worse, if it does? Things like that it's just hard to be excited about. But I think we have to go into it prepared mentally and, maybe excited for projects we're working on, things that we can get better at, that type of thing. So if you have a comment or you have something, I'd love to hear about it. Please share it in the comments if you'd like to share. Okay, so this is definitely interesting because it's really hard to get the appearance I want, but I think I'm going to have to go in and do the sky next for this to really show up as what I want it to look like anyway. A lot of it's working. It's just a little bit like I had to pay more attention to some of these details before I continue, but I also don't know if I can see the detail without doing the sky. So I'm going to do the sky. This part, let's do a little bit more greenery on this side, which is more of a dark blue-green. Because the color is warmer by the light over here, and then as it gets farther away from us, this direction, things are getting, I'm going to cool this down. Things are getting cooler as they get farther away from us. So there's a lot more greenery in here, but it's more like in the shade. So there's less yellow in my color. Working on kind of bridging the gaps a little bit here. I've got some cool openings of color. There's a lot more I'm going to have to probably do them later. Trunks, tree trunks and things. What's helping me is that the green, the dark shadow that I put in beforehand is like the tree directly away from the light. And so I know that this darker green color is kind of just haloing those colors. And it's kind of, bridging the gap between this tree and that tree. And so some of these orange spaces are going to be sky. So that's helpful because I can kind of take that formula and just place it everywhere else. There's definitely some spots that are like trees off in the distance, or sorry, spaces off in the distance, which is actually really cool because there are some gaps and things between trees that are actually really cool to give it a more kind of a glow. Back in the distance. It kind of looks like this color over here. It's exactly that color, actually. But it's showing up. Like I'm seeing it right here underneath that branch down to the ground over here. It's like it's peeking through. This is all stretched out more than it is in the picture. I have it more stretched out, is that what I should say? Okay, so something like that. Okay, so we're working with layers. It's coming forward a little bit. While I have the screen, there's actually a few more just foreground or middle ground spots that need a little bit of loving. So like right in here, we got some greenery that's getting not quite the light, but it's getting a little bit of attention from the light. Same with this spot in here between these trees. And here, and here. I think this goes, this goes all the way to that tree. There's definitely a brighter green here, like as if this plant is getting a halo effect from the backlight. Getting some more, we'll hint at some of that in here as well, along the edges of some of these spots, just to green it up a little bit more. Not too much. We don't want to go crazy. Okay. I think we're happy with that. Okay, we're going to rinse off the brush. And should we attempt the sky? I think we shall. So this will kind of chunk together the masses of trees that are around. Make sure I'm watching my time. So let's just make a big chunk of white. It's going to be mostly, it's pretty light, but we're going to go in with a more blue. Now, the thing that happens sometimes with our eyes is that even though you're looking at a light sky, when you put like tree branches or leaves around it and you see the spot of the sky showing through the trees, that spot always looks a little bit darker because your eye kind of fuzzes the edges a little bit. And so I'm going to go in with a little bit more of a blue to start. And I'm going to put that in. Oh man, it's going to be hard too. Put that in. Actually, this technically should be blue. Put that in the spots that I want the sky to be peeking through. And then later I'll put a little bit more of a lighter color on the inside. I'm going to blend or soften my edges a little bit because, especially since it's close to the edge of my canvas, I really don't want it to be too vibrant. Oh no, the baby's crying. Hopefully he's okay. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit in here. these spots, really anywhere the orange is where the sky, for the most part, is going to be kind of peeking through. Okay, and then this, and I can always, if I decide, oh man, this is too big of a piece of sky or something like that, I can fix it. I can put colors over colors. I think the biggest thing I got from Santa Fe is that I felt inspired to come back to my own work. A lot of times you kind of seek out inspiration to change your work or to figure out something new to do. And I just came back feeling like, no, I'm really excited to get back to what I've been doing, which I think is really the best kind of inspiration. I didn't feel like I was like, oh man, my art is horrible. I got to start something new. I got to do something else. It's like, no, I just needed a refresher to come back and work on what I was already working on, which is great. I love that feeling. Still a little bit more sky kind of in these sections. And definitely up in here. I'm using that ultramarine blue for this. I'm not using the blue-green because I want it to be more purpley, more cool. Cool as in temperature. I think this is where I want. Some more sky showing through. Okay, a little too bright. Dull it down a little bit. And then we just gotta fill this section over here. I don't want to come too low because there's this dark foresty thing in the back. So we're gonna just focus this color up in here. Okay, whew, my arm. Now, just in a few spots, I'm going to go in with just white, or close to white. My brush is still covered in blue, but I want to just put in a little bit of a brighter center. Ooh, that might be too bright. Is it too bright? It might be a little bright. And some of these bigger spaces, I can put a little bit of a lighter blue center on them. Just because that's what our eyes tend to read, is it looks lighter in the middle and darker on the edges, which is true. That's what your eye is seeing. You might not notice that, but okay. So hopefully you can see the trees now. Clumps of leaves, sort of this distant forest in the background. I'm going to just increase this a little bit in here. I guess it's okay. It's going to dry a little bit darker, but I want that to be a little bit more yellow. Something like that. All right. Well, I might stop there for this evening because I'm hitting a low in terms of knowing exactly where to go next. And obviously a lot of this still needs a lot of work, in my opinion. And I don't want to push myself through and then not like it. So I'm liking it right now. It's in the right direction. So I'm going to stop with this for now. Rinse off my brush so I don't let that get crusty. So let's see. I wanted to mention what was I going to mention? Oh man, I lost it. I was going to say that it's gone. It'll come back to me. I cannot remember what it is. But anyway. I remember. I'm going to be coming out with a YouTube video, hopefully by the end of this week, talking about my trip to Santa Fe and some of the inspiration I had, some of the little sketches I did, some footage of things I took while I was there. to just hopefully inspire you guys and to be sort of an example of, an artist visiting Santa Fe, New Mexico and what that kind of looks like. So keep an eye out for that on my YouTube channel. But please subscribe if you haven't already to my channel and give this video a like. That helps me a lot. And you can look through all my other videos and see what you like, or pass it off to a friend or someone you know who likes artsy art stuff. Artsy art stuff. So we can just spread the word a little bit here. We're, I don't remember how many subscribers we are now, 100 or 200 and something. I can't remember. But anyway, we want to get more. So if you can spread the word, that'd be awesome. But thanks for watching, guys. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and into the weekend, and that you can enjoy the weather changing and get some work done on some of your projects. Man, is it late? And I'll see you guys next week. So thanks, guys. Bye.